Oh, okay, so today's instructions to back to another Academia School Simulator video. So today we're doing the student management and hopefully the school problems one, or at least do the student management one if we can't get to the school problems one. Food fight and expired food. Okay. Instigating objects. How do you... That didn't say instigate. That's how. And it did say initiating. This tutorial will teach you about your students and how to assign them to classrooms. First, let's learn about your students. Students are the main characters in the game, and one of the goals in Academia is to make your students learn. Students have different stats which determine how well they learn, and you can learn more about these stats in the student profile. Click on the student to open student profile. It's... Do you mean there? It makes it sound like they're objects. Okay, let's choose one, the name we like. So we got Caroline Davis, Ryan Reyes, Diana Garcia. Let's do Diana Garcia. This is the student profile. Here you can see various information about your students on top. On the top you can see your student's name and some traits which describe your students. Of course you have a rich family. These are your students' learning points for each subject. Learning points are gained when students attend classes. The higher students' learning points are for a subject, the greater the chance that the student will pass that subject at the end of the year. A student must pass at least 3 subjects at the end of the year to move on to the next year level. Next we have student needs. Your students are required to maintain these needs so that they will be motivated to study. Needs decrease throughout the day and increase when using certain zones or objects in the game. However, we need to know how to increase it. So food is eating, fun by hanging out in common area and special rooms during free time. Like, this game really pampers students, they get free time. So safety affects motivation, decreases if you're lacking monitors, and if you have a lot of delinquents or goons in your school. Determines how likely students will litter or do delinquent actions. Decreases after doing certain bad actions or not sent to detention at the end of the day. Next are the conditions. Students have 2 conditions: health and discipline. The higher your students' discipline, the lower the chance they will litter. Delinquent students with high discipline have a lower chance of doing delinquent actions. And I don't think you're delinquent. You can favorite them. Well, I mean, you could do the favoriting as a system of naming, maybe. Like, favorite the ones that are new. Health determines how likely a student will get sick. Students start at good health, but health will decrease when your school is dirty. Your students eat unhealthy food from cafeteria or vending machines. Next we have motivation. Motivation determines how likely your students will learn during classes. Students with low motivation are Students with low motivation are unlikely to learn anything. Motivation is affected by your students' needs. If needs are low, then motivation will be low. Below the motivation model, you will see what is affecting your students' motivation. Close the profile. To know the state of all your students in the school, click this button. This is the overall student info. Here you will see some same stats as the student profile, but these info are the aggregates of student stats per year level. Keep an eye on overall student info if you find that your students are failing or dropping out. Now that you know about your students' different stats, make sure that you maintain these stats to keep your students learning. Next, we learn how to assign students to classrooms. Open the reports menu. Open classrooms report. We got some delinquents I think I saw. This is the classroom report. Here you will see information about your classrooms, like amount of students and seats under the class size column. You can see how many students are in each classroom. Click on the transfer button. This is the transfer classroom panel. Here you can transfer students from the classroom on the top to any of the classrooms below if there are available seats in the target classroom. For now, let's remove students from this classroom by transferring them to unassigned. Click on the down arrow. You just removed the student from the classroom. This student is now unassigned. While unassigned, a student will not be attending classes. To assign the student back to the classroom, just click the up arrow. You have learned how to assign and unassigned students to classrooms. Always make sure that students have classrooms so that they don't lose out on learning. This concludes the tutorial for student management. In this tutorial, you have learned a lot about your students. This knowledge should come in handy when managing your school. So we're on the last one, then we'll graduate from the tutorial. This one will mean we'll have some delinquents. That would be interesting. And they're being fed bad food. Obviously. Because why else would they be green and eating of an ambulance? Oh, it's instantating objects. Writing satisfaction reports. There's a janitor crying. I don't know, I just noticed that. Ooh, everything is bad. In this tutorial, you learn how to handle some of the common problems you will encounter while running a school: delinquents, broken objects, and lots of sick students. First, we learn about delinquent students. Delinquent students can arrive in your school when you accept new students, or your students always have a low motivation. To set delinquent students straight, you need to assign them to a delinquency group. Let's assign students to delinquency group. Open the reports manager. Open delinquent reports. I'm gonna have a lot. Oh no, these three. This is the delinquency report. Here you can see information about the delinquents in your school. Delinquent types. You can see the different types of delinquents. Hover on the icon to know more about them. This shows the number of ratty students, number of bullies. It's like it doesn't really tell you anything about them. It shows the number of smoker students. Like what? Yep. You have bullies in your school, but luckily you have a counselor. Counselors are the most effective at curing delinquents, but they are expensive. Let's assign the bullies to the counselor. Click on the bully icon. You currently have bullies that are unassigned. Delinquent students that have been caught. Also to the unassigned category. Free is the number of delinquents in your school that have not yet been caught. Free. Oh, because they're up free. Okay. Below you can see the different types. Up below you can see the different groups you can assign the delinquent students to. Click the counseling to select it. Click on the down arrow to unassign. Click on the down arrow to unassign to transfer students from unassigned to counseling. Can it be that one? I don't know, I have to press that one. I'm doing all of them. These students are now assigned to the counseling queue and should be cured after some time. The more counselors you have, the faster you can cure delinquents. Keep an eye on your delinquent students. If more than half of your students' population are delinquents, you will be shut down. Now close this panel and the reports menu. Another thing you should be looking out for are goons loitering in your schools. Goons corrupt your students and turn them into delinquents. You have a goon in your school, let's kick him out. Click on kick out. This will send a monitor kick out the goon. You need at least one monitor to kick out goons. That's how you kick out goons. Goons become more and more of a problem as schools get larger, so make sure you have enough monitors. Oh look, you have a broken object. Some of the objects in your school will break from time to time and you need to repair them or they cannot be used by students. Let's repair this object. Click on the broken object. Click Clicking on the report button, a worker should arrive in a while to prepare the object. This is where food crates are stored. Each refrigerator can store 1 food crate. The number of food crates delivered per day will depend on the number of refrigerators in your school. Of course you guys are unhappy. I don't know why you guys want to be. Looks like some of your students are sick. Usually your clinics can handle this, but if you're overwhelmed, sometimes it is best to call an ambulance to take 6 students to the hospital. Click on reports, open clinic reports, call an ambulance. Okay, you can see how many sick students are home. Click on the right arrow, set the number of sick students to be sent to hospital. Or not, hospital to be sent to the ambulance. Can they get sick, or do they only get sick from eating bad food? An ambulance should arrive soon. The ambulance will take away the 6 students, and they will come back cured the following day. If more than half of your students' population gets sick, you will shut down. You have just learned about the common problems you will encounter when running a school. Make sure you pay attention to delinquents and broken objects. Fix them whenever you can. You can now continue the game as normal, or return to the tutorial menu. Why are so many people confessing their love? Anyways, that'll be it for this little tutorial thing. So in the next one, I don't know what I want to do yet. Probably new game. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Guys, have enjoyed. Like when it comes to more subscribe, the next video will be never, whatever it may be. Bye guys.